Earth debate live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Sensual Goat, Click OK, One Deck, Eli, and a whole bunch of people in the Politics 24/7 Flat Earth Debate Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
Greetings, everybody.
Yeah, I'll do my little bit that I do at the beginning of our sessions here at the Flat Earth Debate 24/7 Politics Discord server. What a mouthful. We come here on a Friday because over the last 7, 8 months, nearly 9 months now, we've been telling our counterparts in the Flat Earth side, and indeed our enemies, if you want to call it that, on the Globe Earth side, about the origins of their globe measurements, if they believe they're on a globe, and indeed the origins of the world we actually experience, which is flat in terms of how we measure Earth. And if it is the case that we are reacting to a globe believer in their assertions that they have a sphere Earth to measure, we point out the origins of their flat Earth measurements that would be required in order to infer by calculation that you're on a sphere. So that's what we're here for. That message has definitely been making its way through. Just in the pre-show, we had one of the fundamentalist religious zealots asserting that nautical miles were directly connected to sphericity, only to be asked by one of the flatties on the panel, how do you measure nautical miles? Now, we didn't get an answer. We got lots of ad homs, lots of rumpusing, lots of Dunning-Kruger attempts to answer the question that requires a flat Earth measurement to Polaris. But we didn't get there. But it was good to see that the panel on this Discord server on the Flat Earth side at least know where to take the conversation, even if the opponent is unwilling. So it's good to be here. Please don't swear. We are going out to a live audience on YouTube, so try and keep it family friendly. Hopefully fun will be had by all. Feel free to ask any questions. We're not going to bite you unless you rumpus the crap out of us. Fun, fun, fun. There you go. That's my bit.
Not sure if I missed it. Did you introduce the panel?
I did introduce the panel.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Sensual Goat, Click OK, One Deck, Eli, and Neil. I don't actually mind sitting in silence till somebody wants to break it from the discussion side of the point of view. If somebody else is going to break into this conversation, I'm not going to do housekeeping.
Just saying though, Nathan, about the nautical mile, I caught the end of that. It's like we were speaking the other day about some of these videos you're doing, and when they face with these things, there was one guy that you was, I can't remember which one it was now, whether it was the black screen guy or other guy. They don't like to say the words when they put into the corner, because I think what was you asking him? Was it to do with gas pressure or something like that? And they don't want to say the word because the moment they admit that, you know, the nautical mile is an elevation angle measurement by using the surface of Earth to gain the elevation angle to and from Polaris, it automatically is describing how Earth is measured flat. So it's better to ignore that and not say it, because by doing that, it definitely will destroy their globe belief. It's best not to say it or talk about it. Maybe the gentleman was just swerving it altogether.
No, it's the same principle when it comes to describing gas behaviour and they want to infer gravity. If you try and get them to actually describe what the gas is doing, they can't bring themselves to say it. I did it with one guy and tried to lead him, the guy that was in the little black box, as we keep referring to him. Just a guy that had put something in front of his camera, basically. But when he was saying, well, no, we've got gravity. Gravity's holding the gas here. And you're like, okay, well, give me an example of that. It's like, well, the water cycle. And you're like, well, the rain comes down. It's liquid. So which way's the gas going? And he's like, well, let's move on to how the phase change happens in the clouds. It's like, no, let's not move on. Which way's the gas going? Is it going down with gravity? And he just couldn't bring himself to say, yes, it's going up. Because he needs it to be going down with gravity, and it isn't. So one of the sessions we did, as nobody's talking from Discord, presumably because everyone's gone shy, we've gone live. Fair enough. We'll talk about OME TV then. One of the sessions we did a couple of days ago, had the whole gang, the whole Ballbusters crew are in the G+ panel while I'm recording them on mute. And after we'd finished doing a couple of hours, they're like, oh, that was a terrible session. That wasn't very good. It wasn't very productive. Well, the combined total of those 3 or 4 videos on TikTok generated 25,000 views in less than a day. So what is perceived to be not very good material while you're making it, with a little bit of editing magic from me, admittedly, can potentially turn into a viral video. So it's quite exciting times at the moment, and several people from the comment section have been saying it as well. Look, these videos potentially could go viral, and you're like, yeah, that's why I'm churning them out. It only takes one of them to go viral.
It's really powerful, that human connection and storytelling, where they see people and see their faces, like in real time, having a conversation about a topic that they at least pretend to be interested in.
Yeah. Is it that Bitcoin guy want to talk about his gravity or what? Where did he go? Did he disappear as soon as we go live? As I joined, there was a guy with something crypto in his name, getting very angry.
Yeah, he had come in earlier that he had all this proof for flat Earth, against flat Earth, and then just went on to talk about the moon and relativity, and eventually dropped down and said that he's just parodying his fan fiction from Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson is his #1 source for a lot of things.
I see.
And then went on to nautical miles only work on the globe. And then that's when people are like, how? Like, how does that work?
Wait a second. Don't forget, he came up with the deepest complex.
Okay. Gonna try that again, Neil. I don't think we caught the end of that sentence.
No, it's noisy. I'm gonna drop site.
Okay. I do have a suggestion.
Feel free.
Would you like to, well, until it gets busy, review a clip from 24/7?
No. Oh, a clip from 24/7? Yeah, that's slightly different to... I thought you were about to say review a video. I jumped the gun. Yeah, stick it in Master B. I'll play it.
Well, I think I'm going to need a little bit of help, maybe from Crit. I do have the timestamp, though, of when the conversation began and when it ended. It was on 8/18.
Maybe not then. Let's just leave it for another day when it's like we're not in someone else's server. I'd rather have the silence. And no offense to you, but we will cover it, just not now, unless you've got it ready to rock and roll in an efficient manner. You go on mute.
All right, maybe I'll find it here real quick. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll on mute.
Yeah, I'll leave it with you. But I'd rather leave the empty air. I don't mind on a Friday having a bit of dead air, because if there's somebody that's sat there going, no, I can't get a word in, and then there happens to be 10 seconds of silence, they might think, no, this is my moment. I will open my mic and ask my question.
Well, I was mocked all last night by some young kids because they couldn't comprehend gas pressure without containment.
Some kids? What kids? One of your son's mates?
No, on a job site. So we were self-leveling the floor. So as I'm leveling, I brought up how Earth is measured flat, and they couldn't comprehend it. So it wound up on gas pressure without containment. And he said, how do you think you're getting air in your lungs? his argument, he was constantly bringing me back to existing gas pressure. And when I was trying to explain to him how the reason you have that is because we have containment. Because if we're next to a vacuum, then we ain't breathing anything. Then he asked me about a flight. Well, if you fly to Japan, is it going to take the same amount of time to come back? What
So if
the
you take a
hell does it have
level,
to do with anything?
so if you take a level flight from one location to another, what?
Not only that, he told me he's seen curvature. He goes, have you ever flown? Have you ever flown? Have you ever got on a plane? You see the curve of
He's
the
not
earth.
hearing you, Eli, maybe. What Eli's put to you, Neil, is that should you get that again in future, when someone starts appealing to that, you can point out that their reference is sea level and their altimeter's referencing that, because it's a horizontal plane of reference that can be utilised for level flight.
Who said Eli? I didn't hear Eli say anything to me.
Yeah, he did. He was pointing out a rebuttal that could have been offered, but you kind of non sequitured away from it in terms of where he went to with his scattergun approach, as they do. Eli, credit where credit's due. You don't need to repeat it, but I just don't think he heard you for whatever reason. Yeah. Anyway, yes. So there we go. Yeah. Everything will always lead back to a flat earth proof, no matter which end you start. If they scattergun you, there's always going to be a road back to flat earth. In this case, you're describing how earth is measured. They can't comprehend it, so then you non sequitur presumably into gas pressure without a container, without concession from them. Normal par for the course stuff we're saying, Neil. It's not your fault that you get scattergunned, right, when they can't comprehend it and cope with it.
No. Hold on. I was giving you a synopsis of everything that went on.
Sure.
That's the first place I took him when he spoke about Japan and maps and flying. I said, how do you think you're flying? You think you're flying around the ball? We brought him to the pitch of the plane and how you cannot fly a plane on a globe. How?
Can't. Earth's measured flat, flown on flat, built on flat, navigated flat, mapped flat, obviously and observably flat.
He told me, did you ever hear a thrust?
A video.
Where are the ceilings between the the different layers of the pressure gradients in the atmosphere then? Where are the ceilings that are blocking those often containing each from the other?
That's what he said, yeah. How do you like that?
Hold on, he's putting that as an argument, Neil. Sorry, the what gradient? What kind of gradient? What kind of gradient?
Why is there less pressure? Why is there less pressure tens of thousands of feet above us?
Wait,
how is that enclosed or sealed off from the rest?
Did you hear my question, or does it need to be a continuous barrage of questions without any being addressed? What kind of gradient?
I'm just saying.
That's me making the third attempt to ask the same question that you didn't answer the second or first time. Third attempt.
Pressure.
What kind? That's the fourth attempt. He's still yammering. Fourth attempt. Fourth attempt to me ask a question that's never going to get asked. This is the prick that I suggested shouldn't be involved in the conversation because he's a prick. Can't respond to questions. He's still talking through me. I haven't taken a breath and he still thinks it's his turn to talk. Now, I've put a question to you 4 times and you've rumpused it, obfuscated it and avoided it 4 times. Now you think, well, I'll reiterate it for a 4th time? Undoubtedly, this 5th time will get rumpused again. Eventually, I'll get tired of you and start getting irritated with you. For the 5th time, what kind of pressure gradient did you say it was? What kind of pressure gradient?
I don't know what you mean by what kind of pressure gradient. I'm just telling you there's less pressure above us.
Of what pressure of what?
Air pressure.
Oh, air. Like gases?
Yes.
All right. Gases take the shape of their containment.
Take the shape of their containment?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, why is there less pressure above us?
Why is it? Because what does this have to do with the shape of the world? Why are you asking?
Well, don't you believe that the atmosphere would get sucked down into space?
Atmo, what now? Did you not hear that? Are you not listening? I just told you that gases take the shape of their containment, and now you're saying atmosphere, sphere-shaped air, oxymoronic, taking the shape of something arbitrarily.
You're gonna argue
and now you're yammering through me again. What a dick! What a dick! What a total dick! You're getting your ass spanked with your atmospheric oxymoronic statement that you just made after not listening. So I'm going to berate you for not listening. Clearly you're stupid, Nate. After me telling you and you confirming that gases take the shapes of their containment, you then inferred that we had oxymoronic sphere-shaped air by saying atmosphere. Atmo, what air? It doesn't take sphere shapes. You want to show me a sphere-shaped fart? No, gases dissipate into the area of volume that they've got and take the shape of their containment, as you affirmed, only to then beg the question of oxymoronic sphere-shaped air and then interrupt me like a belligerent little child, as you got told off for your oxymoronic stupidity. So, son, gases take the shape of their containment. We're just going to establish that we're going to have containment to have pressure in the first place before we get to something that comes after we develop pressure, which is gas pressure gradients that you want to argue about. Delta X. First, we need to be in containment to form pressure. Then we can form pressure gradients. But we're going to need containment. That will dictate the shape. Your oxymoronic sphere-shaped air has been overcome. Meanwhile, we're going to need containment to form pressure first, before we get gradients. Do you understand?
I think you're misunderstanding other systems.
That's an ad hominem fallacy. Should we just remove him immediately, telling me I don't understand as a hand wave dismissal ad hominem fallacy? I don't need what I understand questioning as a response. My question was, do you understand that we will be under containment to form pressure? Do you understand?
Asking somebody if they understand something is different than telling them they don't understand it. Those are two very different things.
I agree.
Okay, so now try to engage.
I think it's a misunderstanding of gravity is at play as well.
It's the same ad hominem fallacy, saying there's a misunderstanding about gravity. I haven't mentioned gravity, so how could it be misunderstanding something I didn't even detail? This is obviously non-responsive. He's introducing a new non sequitur that isn't anything I actually put to him. Now he's chanting through me, pointing out his non sequitur fallacy. He's going to chant through me like the bitch he is. It's about the 7th interruption. People ask me why I get irritated. No, mate, your non sequitur about gravity that wasn't mentioned isn't a misunderstanding. I didn't even mention it. How could it be misunderstanding it? No, it's a non sequitur fallacy. You've introduced something that I didn't mention. When I asked you, when describing gas pressure, if you understood that it will be under containment to first form pressure to then discuss the gradient you asked about. Okay, I'm done with him. That's it. Completely non-responsive.
It's not worth engaging with you if you're.
Well, then get lost. Server mute him. I'm the host of the bleeding show. If you don't want to engage with me, you can get lost. Server mute him. I don't want to talk to him anymore if he's going to tell me he doesn't want to engage with me. I'm the host. Stupid man.
Thanks for coming.
So he can't engage. I'll just make a summary. Gas requires containment to form pressure. It's the force exerted on the walls of the containment. That's what pressure is. It's pressing on something to form pressure. So first you need containment, then you can form pressure, then you can form a gas pressure gradient. Asking us about the delta of gas pressure doesn't overcome the fact that you'll need containment to form the pressure that you're asking about the gradient that comes afterwards, just to address and round out his point.
Next.
Notice I didn't have to ad hom him. Point out what he doesn't. I didn't have to do that, did I? No need.
This is where you can tell the difference, Nathan, between the anti-flat earthers who are coming on to cause problems. When you look at the videos you've been doing with, we'll call them, normie Joes. They're listening to what you're saying about what pressure requirement is and how can you have gas pressure without containment if it was next to a vacuum it would automatically fill that space. They're listening, they're understanding what we're talking about. This guy's got no intention of listening and understanding. He's here for one purpose only.
To chant through me 7 times when I repeat something he's non sequitur away from by ignoring and hand waving and just rumpusing. Yeah, that's their MO, isn't it? He thinks he's special because he can chant through the top of something that's pointing out how wrong he was. Oh, well, if I talk through this, then the audience won't hear it. The Discord server won't hear it, and I won't be embarrassed at how stupid I've behaved when describing oxymoronic air after literally affirming that containment will be required to form shapes. They just don't listen. That's the problem. They're all glurfs. They're stuck in their zealotry. They're stuck in their little religion, and they can't cope with anything beyond it. So they must chant when anything comes up that challenges it. They think they're special when they're doing it. Like they're being somehow effective or unique. No. 10 years of listening to glurf idiots.
And plus, again, they're like either taking it to the sky, talking about suns and moons and stars, or gas pressure behaviour, which is nothing to do with how Earth is measured, by the way.
Just debunks their claim that it's a sky vacuum. I'm not making any bleeding claims about it. They start asking us about how gradients are formed. Who cares? I'm not making any claims about this. You mean because you've got a sky vacuum that's violated by natural law, I should explain how gradients work? Well, you'll first need containment to form them. Does that take 7 attempts to get through to the opponent? Well, it does if you're a glurf, fundamentalist, zealot. Then it'll take multiple attempts.
Hey, Nathan, I knew exactly what that guy was doing, but that's exactly what the kids did. They want to talk about air pressure gradients, but they're not comprehending. It's because we have containment.
It's not consequential to my argument. I don't care what the gas is doing, how it's doing it. I just know the sky's not a vacuum. We'd all be dead. The gas would be filling that area of volume they claim the sky is. That's the end of their claim of their sky that's claimed to be a vacuum. That's the end of the argument. Does it affect me as a flat earth? Nope. Do I need to explain what the sky is? Nope. Do I need to explain how gas pressure gradients are formed? No. Definitely not.
No, we can explain how the Earth is measured flat. That's what we do.
Yeah, like with, what was it that was being discussed earlier? Nautical miles.
So this is so it might be just divine timing, because that's exactly kind of what the topic was about, and I did find the video and the timestamp, so I'm gonna post it in Master B.
Okay. Well,
Goes on for about 10 minutes, the relevant bits.
We'll dig into it if it gets really dead. No offence to you, but it'll be there permanently, so it'll be there for Monday. Although I won't be here Monday. We'll see how we go. Thank you, Eli.
I got a couple questions from people DMing me if you want to take them.
Sure.
So one of them, I kind of think that, well, I guess I want to place in the well. Okay, we'll just say that this person appears to be a sock. They would want you to go over flat Earth measurements.
Okay. Or like elevation angle measurements.
Yeah, that's why I think they're stepping in. That they haven't seen a presentation or an explanation of a flat Earth measurement.
Well, just define it. The altitude angle, open brackets, sometimes referred to as the, quote, solar elevation angle, end quote, close brackets, describes how high the sun appears in the sky. The angle is measured between an imaginary line between the observer and the sun and the horizontal plane the observer is standing on. End quote. Sustainable by design. Definition of altitude angle. Did we all note the words measured and horizontal plane the observer is standing on? Did we all get those words clear?
Loud and clear.
Jolly good. Simultaneously, that type of elevation angle measurement that requires a horizontal plane to stand on to measure it, it's an angle, a straight line, is the basis for the latitude system that's wrapped around the globe. Or to put it another way, without flat Earth measurements, you wouldn't have a globe. Hope that's clear. If you're a globie in this Discord server, your religion relies on us measuring Earth flat. Hope that's clear.
Yeah, and the Greeks all knew that.
Yeah, if you're going to derive radial values with sticks and shadows, elevation angle measurements, you're going to need a flat Earth to do it. 100 people watching. Woo-hoo-hoo! Please share the show if you've not done so already. The only reason we've got 100 people watching is because there's regulars that smash the share button when they come here. We definitely don't get any YouTube algorithmic love. So the only reason we've got an audience at all is because we've got people who share that show. So very warm welcome to all of you who've just joined us. Thank you very much. Please share the show if you've not done so already. Smash the super chat to support this channel. Might as well do a bit of e-begging while I'm here as it's quiet. It's really quiet. I'll talk about my computer.
Okay, maybe this will work. The next one is off topic. They're
No,
wondering
talk
if
about
you
the
would make.
video.
Go ahead. Ignore my G plus panel.
Okay, they were wondering. Basically, their question's a hot mess. I'm boiling it down. They're wondering if you would make a comment on U.S. politics, namely either any content coming from the conventions or just who you would support in general.
What? I have no idea. For the majority of my life, I don't even know who the Prime Minister of this country is. I have no idea most of the time.
Yeah, my take is that's kind of what I was hoping you would say, because their shtick was that for some reason, which they don't explain or take questions on, they believe that all flat earthers, without exception, are right wing Trump supporters. Like they're Trumpsters. And so I was hoping you'd give some sort of answer. Like, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Is there any?
Hold on. So correct me if I'm wrong,
Okay.
right? So your right wing is more gun-toting, yeehaw, than LGBTQ conservatism, correct?
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, they got kind of like that big tent sort of. They call themselves the moral, or the silent majority, the moral majority. They believe that they're values based instead of results based.
Okay. I mean, these are systems that I try my absolute damnedest to not engage with at all costs. So, I mean, I'm trying to put myself into a paradigm that I've tried to remove myself from to answer this question. So you can appreciate that's quite difficult. So I can't give an answer. I don't have the slightest idea. If you're going to take from that somebody who's suggesting we're all right wing, and because I don't even really know what your right wing is, you can't pigeonhole me as it. I don't think I'm any wing. Can anybody on the panel who's got the slightest political brain tell me what wing I'd be if I was one? Because I don't know.
Oh, you're not American. I mean,
the same one I am, which is neither.
The question's just
exactly.
non sequitur. It's pathetic. It's got nothing to do with the topic we're talking about. I won't even go there.
Well, you as a black lesbian woman, you definitely won't be on the right side.
I quite like guns, so I quite enjoyed shooting clay pigeons and things like that, and bows and arrows and similar stuff to QE's interest in that regard, right? I quite enjoyed that. So from that point of view, even then, I can shoot a gun here. If I so desired, I could go and shoot a gun. Whereas in the States, you guys can have them in your cupboard right behind you or under your pillow, which we can't do here. So maybe that would make me right wing because I'm a bit more gun inclined. But other than that, I can't think of anything really.
But think about it. Like that's the idea that all of people's financial problems and misunderstanding about the system and how they can get ahead and the programs that's available to them boils down to if you like guns is obviously ridiculous. So liking guns, if that, it can't be that what people are asking is, do you like guns? You know what I mean? So it's non sequitur.
I mean, we did have a.
Plus, it would be more like, do you have the right to own one? I mean, in the United States, there's 120 guns per every 100 citizens. So it's a different culture than Europe.
Sure, but there's plenty of gun-toting Brits. My folks used to live on a farm, and people having guns was pretty damn common. But it's like you guys when you're doing sports, that kind of sports. You know, it's not, you wouldn't bat an eyelid if you saw some guy in a forest walking around with a shotgun, right? Well, it's kind of the same here. But in terms of your personal protection, open or concealed carry, that is absolutely not allowed here.
Hey Nathan,
but it also doesn't matter. Like, and when I say it doesn't matter, is because somebody who's from the city, who like we just got some sort of gun leeway in New York City. I've never cared. Like the people who, for whatever reason, live in cities already are like Democrat, liberal, quote unquote. We don't really get, like, that's the part of the conversation we sit out in. The people that participate in the conversations are the people that already live in places where they carry guns. There's no danger of that not happening. So I don't get it.
Just to get back on topic, there was a guy on one of the videos who said he's done some long distance shooting, and he was claiming he had to make adjustments for earth spinning underneath the bullet, but then he couldn't explain what he meant by that.
Yeah, to a certain degree, I hacked out. My intention isn't to make the people I'm talking to look stupid where they don't need to be, but I'll be honest, there are certain things that the people I discuss this subject with on OME, and here for that matter, not here per se, not politics per se, but, you know, in general on Flat Earth debate, that just say ludicrously stupid things. Now, in that case, the way that the kid appealed to his daddy, and I've said it in that way intentionally, for that argument made him sound really pathetic, right? So I just edited it out. I'm like, man, this makes him look... I know the reaction this is going to get from both Glurfs and Flurfs in the comments. He's going to get his ass ripped out. And I don't like that. I don't like the idea of some dumb thing that you've said in the moment, because I'm intentionally trying to trigger you into a cognitive state of frenzy, and then you act, and then not accidentally, I don't want to say that, then you say something stupid. It's like, I bet you wish you hadn't said that. And if it made it to the edit, I'd feel guilty that I'm casting the person I'm talking to in the worst possible light. And it's almost like I'm then doing it intentionally. In that case, it was him going, well, my dad told me this, and my dad told me that, and this and that. I'm like, this makes your dad sound like a bullshitter. You sound gullible. So I just hacked it out and just left one reference to him saying, well, my dad's a marksman. And I just left it at that, rather than humiliating the poor kid.
I feel like you've fallen into a sunk cost fallacy because you're in too deep with this and you kind of rely on it for an income stream.
Say that again? A what fallacy?
A sunk cost fallacy.
That's a new one on me. Say
You're
it one
in
more
too deep.
time.
You don't want to sunk cost.
Nate, remember you're supposed to write your dear diaries in your diary, not blurt it.
Yeah, but I'm always intrigued if I've heard
I'm saying it pretty
a fallacy
calmly.
that I've never heard. What, stump cost. Okay.
Sunk cost, like what boats do sometimes. They sink, but sunk.
Sunk
Cost.
what? Sunk cost.
Cost
Okay,
fallacy.
gotcha. What does that mean? That you've invested so much time in it that you want to believe in it?
Well, it's too hard to step away now. You're in too deep.
So how does that address anything that we've discussed here? That's just
I just
another
want to
ad
get to
hom.
know you better.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm just responding. That's a glorified ad hom. What you're saying is, you're not right. You've just sunk too much time into it. Okay. How does that in any way alter that we measure elevation angles off a flat plane?
I'm just trying to figure out where these ceilings are between like how there is a pressure gradient. Are there ceilings in our atmosphere from 10,000 feet, 20,000 feet, 15,000, 12,000? Like what's going on there? How is it an enclosed system, but the pressure varies?
And how does that have any bearing on the nature of the ground that we measure in response to a question about elevation angles? So non-responsive, non-sequitur doesn't actually address what I've said, goes on to a previous subject that isn't what I've just put to you in the last 20 seconds, which is elevation angle measurements are why I'm not in too deep. I've got measurements of Earth being flat. Rather than address it, you're talking about something non-sequitur. Gradients have nothing to do with the measurements of Earth. I'm not in too deep. We've got measurements, elevation angles. That was non-responsive. Non-sequitur.
No, but it has something to do with the flat Earth theory. If you want to even call it a theory, I don't even think it's science, but
It's non-responsive. Elevation angles address the fact and claim ad hom that it is that I'm in too deep, as opposed to having measurements of Earth with elevation angles. Third time I've put it to you this session. I'll conclude, rather than listening to the dumbfounded silence of a man who's just ad hom me by saying I'm in too deep, and now he's going to chant through me after having a prolonged silence to respond in several attempts. Maybe if you could just serve him, mute this asshole. No, son, I'm not in too deep. Earth is measured flat. You felt the need to respond by asking me about gradients of pressure that require containments that we've already addressed and you haven't responded to. You've chosen to ignore the point and rumpus me chanting through. It's not your turn to talk. I'm summarising the failure of your ad hominem when you suggested that I'm in too deep by giving you evidence that you've ignored 4 times and tried to chant through twice. Elevation angle measurements. I also gave a very specific example while you were here of those lines that are measured flat being wrapped around a globe. For you to believe in a globe, it must be measured flat. Those angles that are wrapped around it. Now, you haven't addressed any of that.
What do you mean by elevation angle measurements?
I defined it. Do you want me to define it again?
I never heard the definition to begin.
No worries. The altitude angle, open brackets, sometimes referred to as solar elevation angle, close brackets, describes how high the sun appears in the sky. The angle is measured between an imaginary line between the observer and the sun and the horizontal plane the observer is standing on. End quote. Sustainable by design. Altitude angle.
So are you saying that everyone observes the sun from the same distance?
No, I'm saying it's an angle measurement with respect to the horizontal plane of reference that the observer is standing on to make this measurement. By definition. Can we conclude, I'm not in too deep Earth's measured flat with elevation angles to give you latitude lines to wrap around a globe. That's it. I'm not in too deep Earth's measured flat. 5th time. Oh, same dumbfounded silence as last time. So in conclusion, that was an ad hominem fallacy. To say that I'm in too deep? No, I'm not. 10 years of research just makes me learned in the subject, understanding where your religion of a globe came from, how the lines of latitude wrapped around your globe faith came from flat Earth measurements off a flat plane with elevation angles as defined, with respect to the horizontal plane the observer is standing on to make the measurement. That's an Earth that's measured flat. To conclude.
I just find it difficult.
Don't care what you find difficult. Go away and find it difficult somewhere else.
Nate, how about explain, when do you think sunken cost fallacy kicks in? Is it 1 week, 1 year? Does it vary? Does it depend? Maybe try to articulate that point as your argument rather than just directing it like it's a like you just point at each people that you say that person is sunken cost, like you're doing some kind of investigation on them.
I'll just do it. I'll just use it correctly. The sunken cost fallacy, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, being committed to describing men in sky vacuums in spite of the measurements that he uses to make those claims being flat. That's a sunken cost fallacy. He's just spent so much time talking about the Earth being a sphere and a sky vacuum, he can't commit to anything else. He hasn't got any evidence to show a second law of thermodynamics violation sky vacuum, and he's never been to one. It doesn't exist. What he has got is the Copernican model from the church to reify into existence and then sink a load of cost into. We're understanding who's got the sunken cost fallacy then? Tyson. Can't commit to anything else, he's in too deep. Unlike me, I just know Earth's measured flat, and I can reference things like elevation angles that create the globe's lines of latitude wrapped around them. 6th time.
That's also like Michelle Fowler, when she was asked to prove, like on the Big Think, she was asked, hey, what are the best proofs of the globe? And she didn't give any proof of the globe. She just shit-talked Flat Earth for like 5 or 6 minutes, talking about she's got friends who have been to space. Like, that sounds like a sunken cost fallacy, because now her idea of friendship is tied into a globe belief.
Anybody mind if I do a quick shout-out to one of my own panel members? Shout-out to Craig on the panel right now at Click OK Computers. He has serviced this computer endlessly since the day it was gifted to me by one of my Patreons at the time. And it has so far had 3 GPUs, 3 CPUs, 2 riser cables, 20 fans. What else did it add? 2 NVMe drives, 2 motherboards in 2 years. Less than 2 years. So today it's had a brand new CPU fitted at the cost of the shop, Craig, that is, because he is the shop. So he's had to go and buy this chip to actually replace it, to hopefully get a replacement, a refund rather, a credit for it. But at the moment, it's his detriment. So I want to do a big shout out to him. Thank you, Craig. And he actually fitted it this morning. So he's gone to, he's put graft in too for nothing. I haven't paid him a dime. So thank you very much, Craig. Shout out to you and Click OK and all the team there.
Woohoo! Thank you.
Any other fundies? Any other questions? Shouldn't poison the well, sorry.
Term of endearment.
Not really.
I mean, there's a couple of questions I keep getting DMs, but most of them are just hot garbage. Like, why is everyone muted? You're like, will Nathan ever go to a neutral platform? I mean, just hot garbage. It's like barely even worth mentioning.
Sorry, I don't own this platform. What are they suggesting that you're my moderator, or that I've got some control over what happens here? Do they not appreciate that I'm also a guest here?
Yeah, it's like, how would you just how difficult would it be to get them through to that? That this is a neutral platform for you, that you are not the moderator here. Like, will you understand at least that? And they won't. It's like, and they'll ask the same question again next Friday.
Okay, I don't run this server. Now, while I can chant at the person who's chanting at me that I'm in charge, I'm the host. Yeah, of my show I am. But this is not my server. I have no control over the mute button. I can't server mute somebody even if I wanted to. Meanwhile, thank you to Goldie, who's gifted a membership. Thank you very much, Goldie. And as always, thank you for your ongoing lovely comments in my Omi videos. Also, shout out to Fisherman in a Box, who picked up the free membership. Shout out to both of you. Right, if there's a gap, I'm going to do a little plug. So on Tuesday at 7 p.m, that's 27th of August, if in case this is going out at a later date and you don't want to be going down to this place then. But yeah, 7 p.m, Tuesday the 27th of August, I'm going to be at the Bridge House Hotel in Ferndown in Dorset. BH229AN is the postcode if you did want to toddle along down there. 5 of your English pounds will gain you entry on the door. From what I understand, there could be anything from 30 to 100 people there. There are lots of regulars, so there'll be at least maybe 30 people there. But there may be many, many more, as there has been for other Flat Earth social meets, because it's a regular thing. It's the last Tuesday of every month. So it's garnered a kind of following, if that makes sense. So if you're worried that you'll turn up and you'll be the only person, you definitely won't be. It might be Ramma Jamma Ding Dong, I just don't know. But like I say, £5 on the door, Flat Earth Social. It's run by Ian Leahy. So give him a nod if you do happen to come along, and thank him for running such a fantastic event. Yeah, that's this Tuesday after the bank holiday.
What usually happens down there, Nathan? Is it, people coming in and chatting about the shape of the earth and asking questions, or you get
karaoke?
Well, initially, I said to Ian, oh, no worries, I can keep people's attention for 2 hours, 3 hours, however many hours you need. And he's like, no, you've got to do a presentation. I'm like, yeah, no worries. I'll tell people how Earth's measured flat. He's like, oh, okay, this is all in text chat. And later he's like, well, what's your presentation? Can I have it so I can put it up on the projector and stuff? And I'm like, presentation? I was like, what? He's like, he sent me back my own message. Yeah, I'll do a presentation on Earth being measured flat. And by that, what I meant was, I'll talk for as long as you need me to. I can talk indefinitely. No problem at all. But now he actually wants me to form a presentation. So after the last couple of days, I've been writing, basic stuff on my notes, like intro, talk about elevation angles, talk about sky vacuum, just things like that, just general notes. And then when he spoke to me on the phone, he's like, what are the pictures you want? I'm like, pictures? he actually wants me doing some graft. So if there's a slapdash presentation, you might get a few pretty pictures that I also dig out of my photo library and send on to Ian. But yeah, my intention would be to interact with everybody that's there in some meaningful way that everybody can hear, and go through, gauge how advanced people's understanding is of the subject, how many detractors there are, and then just, try and do what we do on the show, but in person, really. We do what we do daily. It's easy for me. I'm not the slightest bit concerned about having people in person. So, yeah. Should be a lot of fun.
Why don't you live stream your presentation?
Someone will record it, I'm certain. But no, I want to...
Like,
the whole point of it is to press the flesh. It's not so I can record it and live stream it and provide it to the YouTube audience. The whole point is that it's it's me giving something back. It's a huge amount of effort and expense that I really don't have, if I'm honest. I can't actually afford to do this. Smash the PayPal link if you're watching live. But it's one of those. It's like, you know, people go out of their way to give me money, participate in GoFundMe's, make sure I've got equipment. Craig is a perfect example of that. He's given so much of his time that's cost me zero, and it's obviously time away from him earning his living. So, you know, all those things that people give me, this is my way of giving back. When Ian was like, can you come down and press the flesh? I'm like, yeah, I can. Because there's going to be people who are out there that are like, no, we do want to actually physically interact with people like yourself. And so be it. I'm more than willing to do that.
Yeah, that Click guy, he's okay.
It's like on the computer when it says click OK. Click OK computers. No? Ah, forget it.
Yeah, he's okay.
Is it a Radiohead reference?
No, but I tried.
No, it was excellent, Nathan. The only nerds that get it.
What was excellent?
Is what you said. Like, okay, and I like it. Amazing.
I don't know what I said now.
Click OK computers.
Oh yeah, Craig's a perfect example of the amount of support I get. It's just with Craig, who's listening now. I'm talking in the third person, like he's not here. But it's very much in person, which a lot of the interactions I have with my subscriber base or Patreons or whatever group it is, it's not necessarily face to face. But it's no different in terms of the amount of effort or financial detriment to the person that's supporting me. It is. You know, for Craig, it is very much physical graft and sweat and tears and screws coming out of things. But all of that it's no different to someone handing physical cash over to me as far as I'm concerned.
Nathan,
Yes.
are we going to get this book before the solstice?
By estimations of the people helping me rewrite it on the 5th draft, it'll be before the end of the year. But it's gone on hiatus because everyone's on holiday. So it's got to the stage where we've gone through the not final redraft, but the going through every single chapter to tart it up and get it to a point where we were happy with the order and happy how the story's told and happy with all the references that go along with it, which have all been sourced from decent sources. And now it just needs to be gone through once more to actually check spellings and just recheck it, basically. But that was, like I say, where we left it was on the last chapter, having gone through it and made sure it's in the right order. But now it needs a final check over and little T's crossed and I's dotted and things like that. And then it'll be a book. So should I say this? No, I won't mention that. There was something else that put a delay with the publisher, but I don't think I'll mention it. It's a personal issue of his. So that's not worth mentioning on the live show. We'll move on. But it'll be done in the next couple of months, I would imagine. Before the end of the year, at the very latest.
Can I ask a question?
Of course you can. Crystal, yeah?
What would change your mind, if anything,
Change your mind about what?
about flat Earth?
What would change my mind about measurements? It's measured flat. How can I have my mind changed about it being measured flat if it wasn't measured flat?
I don't know, I'm just wondering.
I'm answering you. If it wasn't measured flat, then that would change my mind. It is measured flat, therefore I'm a flat earther, because it's measured that way.
Oh, cool.
What's your position?
Me?
Yeah.
I think it's a globe.
You believe it's a globe.
Yeah.
You're entitled to that belief. I don't hold beliefs personally. I mean, I'm not very religious. I like to go with how things are measured. But if you take those measurements and then wrap them around a ball, it gives someone like yourself the ability to believe that you're on a ball. Good for you. You know where those beliefs came from? Just out of interest, Crystal.
Where did they come from?
Yeah, the idea that you're on a ball as you believe in it, fair enough. You're entitled to that. But do you know where those beliefs came from?
Told me.
Not for you personally, I mean where they originated.
Oh. Oh, no, I don't.
From the Roman Catholic Church.
Ooh.
How many years ago?
About 500. Final refinement was about 300 years ago. Scale did come a bit later. Well, like I say, you're entitled to your belief, but, you know, having looked into it, I know that that belief comes based on measurements of Earth as a flat plane to give you that belief. Maybe I could ask you the same question. What would get you relinquishing your belief in favour of actual measurements?
What would change my mind?
No, what would relinquish you of your belief in favour of actual measurements?
Maybe if I saw physical proof.
Okay. So are you aware of the globe's lines wrapped around it called latitude?
Yeah, I am.
And do you know how they are measured?
Not really. Math was never my strong suit.
No, that's fair enough. I can just explain it to you. So if you imagine that you're in the North Pole and you're standing below the North Star and you look up above you at it, or you lie on your back and just look straight up, right? You're with me so far, Crystal?
Yeah.
That's called your zenith. So the North Star would be at your zenith. Now, as you back away from Polaris, it will drop towards the horizon as you move away from it. You appreciate that, right?
Yeah.
Well, that movement, that drop, is an angle measurement of 1 degree off a flat Earth of the star Polaris moving towards the horizon. And that 1 degree represents 60 nautical miles. You with me so far? Say again?
Sorry, I'm playing PlayStation. That was not me.
No, that's okay. Are you following along, though?
Yeah, I am.
So you understand, you measure the Earth flat, 1 degree declination towards the horizon of the star Polaris is 1 degree of latitude.
Only a quick
Okay, so that's a flat Earth measurement of that circle on your globe. So to give you that circle on that globe at 1 degree, you measure a star with respect to a flat Earth to get that measurement, to put it on your globe. You understand that?
Yeah.
So Earth is measured flat for the latitude on your globe.
Oh.
Welcome to Flat Earth.
Yeah, you convinced me.
But there's no need to convince you, that's just how it's measured. It's not a belief that I need to talk you into. You either accept how it's measured or you don't. Now, if you understand how it's measured...
I accept it now.
Cool. Well, you also can then appreciate how your globe's created to have been believing in it up until this point. But welcome to Flat Earth. I assume that was the PlayStation.
I have a question for you.
Feel free.
So, when I ask people here in this chat, which you're probably known of, they refuse to show me this model. Like, could you please demonstrate to me how you imagine the world?
Why?
So I can understand your actual view.
Okay. Do you know what latitude is? Were you listening to the last 20 seconds of conversation, or did you just join?
Just want you to point out the model of your Earth.
I was starting to lead you, and I asked if you'd listened to the last few seconds of conversation or not, and you didn't answer me. Second time I'm asking. Did you listen to the last conversation with Crystal?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So we're going to discuss one of the measurements used in these models. Not mine, just the models that are used generally. Not mine. Latitude being specific to this measurement. Do you understand how we measure latitude
Hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Is that a yes? Yes, I understand how we measure latitude. Flat.
Latitude of what?
Just latitude.
Bruh.
Is that
the
a
plane
don't? So
horizon
is that
of
a
it.
no? You don't understand how measuring latitude is measured. So no, then.
Okay, then demonstrate it to me, please.
So you now we're in ambiguity because I don't know if you understand what latitude is. You've just asked me latitude of what? No, it's a latitude measurement. It's an angle measurement with respect to Polaris. 1 degree declination measured flat will give you 1 degree of latitude. Now I've explained it to you personally. Do you understand?
And I know what latitude is, okay?
So you understand it's a measurement of an angle with respect to a flat plane of Polaris then?
What does this have to do with your model of the Earth?
I just need you to say yes
just not
or
point it out?
no. Don't ask me something. It's a simple closed question. So you understand that with a flat plane that we are standing on for one line of this angle to the star called Polaris will give us 1 degree of declination with respect to a flat plane as you back away from it. Do you understand, yes or no, third attempt?
No, I don't. I don't know what you're
Oh, well, then let me explain. You take an angle, that's a measurement, with respect to the horizontal plane of surface that you are standing on, and then an imaginary line to the star called Polaris. If it was at your zenith, it would be at 90 degrees. That would be straight above you. Now, as you move away from it, 60 nautical miles, you will observe a 1 degree declination towards the horizon. 1 degree. That's 2 straight lines. One is a flat Earth baseline, and the other is an imaginary line to that star. So we are measuring a flat plane for 1 degree of declination as we back away from Polaris. Measured flat, it can't be anything else because it's an angle, 2 straight lines. Fourth attempt, do you understand now?
But you know it can also be perpendicular.
Why is he telling me something? Why isn't he affirming? It's a closed question. I don't need him to ask me or tell me anything. It was a closed question. Do I need to explain it a 5th time? Yes or no? Do you understand the measurement?
Yeah, I understand the measurement now.
You
Yeah.
understand it's measured off a flat Earth then? 5th time.
I didn't get you. What were you saying?
6th attempt. So you understand that this flat Earth only measurement of the star is an angle with respect to its declination towards the flat plane you are measuring. 6th attempt. Is that yes?
Yeah.
So we measure Earth flat.
Can you show that measurement to me, please?
It's
I'm really
called
interested.
latitude, you stupid man. I've gone through it with you 6 times and you've affirmed you understand the measurement and now you're asking me about what the measurement is. Are you unbelievably retarded? No, I'm not going to do it a 7th time. It's called latitude. Look it up. Meanwhile, even though he's affirmed it and failed and feigned and slightly rumpused, it's a flat Earth only measurement. Once I've got you to acknowledge how that measurement is done for latitude, I can then welcome you to flat Earth and then there's no necessity for me to explain anything because you understand how Earth is measured. I'm not a bleeding cartographer and I won't be explaining anything about any models or maps. How the maps that do exist that I didn't create function is by measuring Earth flat. Facts. So what can we conclude? We can conclude that Earth is measured flat with that. And that's me. I dust off my hands. I'm done. That's it. Over. You want to know about my model, do you? Oh, I couldn't give a crap about models. It's a reification fallacy. The map is not the terrain. But in terms of how we utilise the terrain, we measure it flat. So what is Earth? Flat. That's how we measure it. Do I need to give you a model? No, I don't. Do you need to find out what you think the world is based on other people's models or create one yourself hereafter? Maybe you do. Maybe you can go out and find what model you'd like to believe in, but I couldn't give a crap about models and I don't believe in anything. If you need that, you can go and get it. But now we're all clear, Earth's measured flat. There's no more necessity for me to discuss anything about maps and models that you might want. I don't care about them. But I know Earth's measured, and now so do you.
Even if that measurement would be right, why would you?
So are you denying latitude measurement even though you've affirmed you understood what it was after 7 attempts? You're now going to put it into an... Now he's going to rumpus me, and now he's going to chant through me. It's not an if statement. He's going to chant through me like a little bitch. It's not an if statement. I've made my conclusions. Latitude is measured flat. It's not an if statement. If that measurement... What, latitude? Now, you can try and deny the fundamental basis of your globe faith, which is having latitude lines wrapped around it, and what, deny that you've got them? Well, you can deny your globe exists, if you like, if you're going to deny latitude. So you're denying your own bleeding globe, then, if you're going to put it into an if statement. You understand what's happening and what I'm asking you? You're denying your own globe, then, because you're denying latitude if you put it into an if statement. Clear?
Do you have any actual argument?
Now he's asking me something.
Like...
He asked a question. You're denying your own globe then, so you're denying latitude by questioning its validity. So you're saying latitude isn't valid, therefore globe debunked. No latitude lines for your globe then. They're measured flat, I've already established that, but I just want to make it clear that you're putting latitude that is wrapped around your faith in a globe in the bin when you put it in an if statement. It's not an if. You need it for your globe. So you're denying your globe because you're denying latitude then. Let's just get this squared away. So you're denying your globe then? You don't want to accept latitude?
Oh, I actually believe in the globe. I think you're just...
No, latitude. No, I know you believe in the globe. I didn't ask for you to affirm your belief. I asked you to deny your globe because you're denying latitude. You said, if this measurement about latitude... If this measurement, that's it's what questionable, then your globe's questionable because your globe needs them. Do you understand that by putting it into an if, you're denying your globe? They're still measured flat, by the way. Doesn't matter whether or not you deny them because you'll be denying your globe.
That measurement is actually not measuring anything because the star is moving. It's moving by itself.
Excuse me, let's just define what an altitude angle measurement is by sustainable by design, as I've done previously, because he's denying the definition of this measurement. The altitude angle, sometimes referred to as solar elevation angle, in respect to the sun, describes how high the sun appears in the sky. The angle is measured between the imaginary line between the observer and the sun and the horizontal plane the observer is standing on, sustainable by design. Altitude angle. That's what an altitude angle is. It's a measurement between the horizontal plane the observer is standing on, and in this case, Polaris, to give you latitude to wrap around a globe. Now, if you say that's not real, not a measurement, you want to deny it, then you deny the base premise of your globe. I've said it 4 times. It's still measured flat. That's how the angle is defined. With respect to the horizontal plane that is being measured. That's what latitude is. You don't have to like it, and you can deny that latitude's a measurement, or that it's not real, or it's not with respect to the ground, which it is. But it ultimately denies your faith in your globe, which has them wrapped around it.
You need a stationary point, which is not the case, simply because...
No, lines aren't points. Angles aren't points. You don't need a stationary point. We're measuring an angle. It's not a point. Angles aren't points. They need 2 straight lines meeting at a vertex. That's not a point. The vertex is a point. The straight line with respect to the horizontal plane is not a point. It's a line. Horizontal in nature, forming part of the angle. Flat Earth required. That's never going to change. You telling me it's a point? That doesn't change anything. It's not. It's a line. The horizontal plane the observer is standing on forms that line. It's not a point, and you chanting through me like a bitch won't change how you have lost. Trying to turn it into a point won't give you a line for the base, for the angle. Meanwhile, denying this measurement denies the latitude wrapped around his globe. Accepting the angle measurement accepts Earth is measured flat. You're between a rock and a hard place. You either deny latitude, in which case you deny your globe, or you accept latitude, in which case Earth is measured flat. Which one is it?
Shut the fuck up.
Pardon?
You heard me right. I said shut the fuck up.
Oh, swear at me. Is it painful, you little bitch? Earth's measured flat, little bitch. swearing at me and rumpusing me when I reiterate for the 8th time the devastating facts that your latitude wrapped around your faith in your globe is measured flat. Now, you can tell me to fuck off all you like. It won't change the devastating defeat that you have faced at the hands of a flat earther. My name is Nathan Oakley. Latitude that these fundamentalist religious zealots require to wrap around their globe is measured flat with an angle of a flat earth to Polaris. Now, he doesn't have to like that, and he can swear at me all he bleeding likes, but everybody in my live stream loves it when you start swearing at me under duress and pain. Go on, swear at me again. That's better than a rebuttal, mate. That's wonderful response. Earth's measured flat. Latitude, dum-dum. Deny it and deny your globe. Accept it and accept a flat earth. Are we done? Did he have his little tantrum?
But did you actually win, like, your cognitive dissonance or something?
Sorry, what did I win? Cognitive dissonance? I wasn't trying to win anything. I illustrated how Earth was measured.
ironic.
That's not a win or lose situation. It's a description of how Earth's measured. You think you're going to win. I'm answering him and he's chanting through me like a total bitch. Oh, maybe you could bitch about my mute button. Is this me muting him, ladies and gentlemen, when it's not my server? This is a neutral platform where, yeah, for a certain amount of time, the moderators will accept him rumpusing the living crap out of me. Yeah, for a certain amount of time. Then it's deemed unreasonable. Because his pain is coming through. He's got to chant while I point out that I'm not trying to win. If I detail a measurement of something to somebody when they ask me to measure it, I don't win anything. I just pass on the measurement. But you need to win your globe face back with the flat Earth angle measurements to Polaris that you wrap around it. Now, you could suggest that it's if we measure them, but then it's if you've got a globe with latitude around it. But if you accept that we do definitely measure its latitude, then you'll be accepting that we're measuring a flat Earth. What was that? What was the last response? Fuck you, Nathan. I don't win. Earth's just measured flat. There's nothing for me to win. I just know that as a fact, and now so do you. Tell me to go fuck myself. Go on.
Okay, what's wrong with you?
There's nothing wrong with me. Earth's measured flat, and I'm just telling you that, and you're swearing at me.
That's projection as you're refusing to concede.
Yeah, your failure to concede requires you to get angry and chant through me and ask me what's wrong with me. It's pure projection. You're in pain. We all know that's why we're all laughing at you. So is the chat. Shout out to you in chat. 130 people listening to this glurf get irritated. So measured flat or no lines around the globe then? Which is it? That was the last question put to you. You've non-sequitured and non-responsive way around it 3 or 4 times now. So are we measuring a flat Earth for these angles to Polaris, or do you not have a globe with latitude around it? Which is it? Cat got your tongue? You were chanting through me a second ago, you little bitch, swearing at me. Need it a 5th time? Do you not have a globe because you're denying latitude, or do we measure Earth flat? Which is it? You have a good day, Haval. I'll just make my summary. Earth is measured flat for latitude. You can believe it's wrapped around a globe, but that's not how Earth's measured, like this angle on screen to this lighthouse. You measure it with respect to a flat baseline. That's how you measure it. Earth is measured flat. That's how the globe is created. Whether this fundy accepts it or not, he can deny latitude and deny his globe in the process, or accept latitude and accept that Earth's measured flat. Those are the 2 situations. Those are his only choices. Tough luck. You either deny your globe or accept Earth's measured flat. I don't care which. I don't win. You just lose your faith in a globe with this dichotomy. True that it is. Next.
Right, this Nathan from study.com. A sextant is a navigational instrument used to determine latitude. A sextant uses internal mirrors to measure the angle between 2 objects. Positioning a sextant to measure the angles between the sun or stars and the horizon can determine latitude.
Awesome. I'm going to do a last little ditch e-begging attempt. So if you did want to support my endeavours going down to Dorset this week, hit me up on PayPal or Ko-Fi and support the channel, as I am always struggling being a very small YouTuber doing this full time. And yeah, maybe I need a petrol tank sponsor to get down there, because financially it is a very tight endeavour, which I have explained to Ian, and he has helped, or is offering to help, by covering the cost of the room and just giving me the money rather than me staying there. And then I'm going to drive some way to my folks and stay with them, so I can actually have the money for the room rather than having a hotel, which helps me out financially. But that's how tight it is to do this. So hopefully someone will take pity on me and send me a Ko-Fi or a PayPal. There we go, that's enough e-begging, I won't do it too much. Anything else while we're still live with the Discord server? Maybe there's time for one more attempt to convert me away from the measurements of Earth for some reason, so that they can have their pain relief. Go ahead.
Can I
quickly, Nathan.
Can I play?
Yeah, go ahead, Euclidean.
All right. So you're talking about measurements to stars and the sun, with sextants. If I have a angle and I have a baseline, am I able to figure out the rest of the information of the triangle that I just made using those using that information?
Why would you want to do that?
I don't know. Calculate the distance to them.
To the star? Are we travelling to the star?
Yeah.
Sorry, are we travelling to the star?
Do I need to know the distance?
Sorry,
No,
you said so we could travel to it. Can we calculate the opposite, is what you're asking? Yeah, I get your question. Because we can travel to it, what? Well, the opposite will give us the distance to the star. Are we travelling to the star? Third time.
That seems like a red herring, Nathan.
Sorry, you're asking me if we can get the bleeding height of it, and it's a red herring to ask if we're travelling to it. Why would we calculate it would be my first question. That would be the height of the star. That's what you're asking. So, it's a red herring to ask you why we'd need the height of it. Are we travelling to it? It is absolutely unequivocally on topic and directly speaks to your assertion that we'd need to do this, in spite of me asking why we'd need to do this and you're not answering. So, I'll just make a conclusion unless you've got anything to add. We're not calculating the height because we don't need to. We're not travelling to the star. What we are doing is calculating a radius around the central point below the star. That's its GP, ground position, on the ground, measured flat, for a straight line between us and the GP, because that's useful for calculating our position on the ground, getting our fix. We're not travelling to the star, though, dum-dum. We don't need to get its height, in answer to my question you failed to respond to. We don't need to travel to the star, so we don't need to calculate its height. We're not doing trig. This isn't trig, it's celestial navigation. Maybe look up what celestial navigation is and you'll quickly realise nobody's calculating the heights of star with this stuff. We're calculating where we are on the ground, which is flat. Hope that's clear and answers your question.
So nobody else is doing it, therefore we can't. And
sorry, do you want to travel to the star? Do you want to travel to the star?
What kind of fallacy is that? That has to be some sort of.
It's called a red herring by you. We're not travelling to the star, and you're still latched onto this red herring.
We don't have a reason to know the distance. We just want to know, right?
Why? I've asked you this is the third time. Why do we need the distance to the star when we need its GP position on the ground?
We're curious, that's why.
Well, then go and be curious someone else, dickhead. It's got no relevance to celestial navigation. We're not travelling to the star. So you and your curiosity can sod off to some other forum where you can postulate about some garbage that has no bearing in practical application. We're not travelling to the star. It's a folly that you're interested in then, dum-dum. I couldn't give a crap about your morbid interest in this non-journey to a star we're not travelling to.
You need a reason to know things, Nathan. That's pretty bizarre.
Well, like saving my life at sea. That's a pretty good reason to measure a star's GP ground position, yeah, if I don't want to die. You're not going to save any lives by measuring the height of the star, though, dum-dum. Yeah, I do have a practical application for knowing this stuff. It's just not related to the height of the star, as you asked about it. It's a folly.
I just want to...
I know, you're just going to babble on about what you want. It's not proving anything other than you have an interest in measuring heights that you can't get.
What do you mean I can't get? I have a triangle, Nathan. I have a baseline and an angle.
So you've got one, so go and calculate it then. What's the height using that triangle?
Where am I standing?
What's the height? You give it me, you're telling me you want to get it, so give it me.
Give it me? Okay.
Yeah, give me the height of the star. You said you've got a triangle, Mr. Smarty Pants. Now you give me the height.
Yeah, so what's the angle I'm observing Polaris at?
You give it me! It's your claim!
Jeez, Nathan.
Is it not clear? Is it not bleeding obvious when I've said this is your claim, it's not used in celestial navigation, you insist on making it, now you're demanding I give you something? No, you give it me. You say you want the height, you're fascinated with it, you've got triangles. Not me, you. I know what celestial navigation is, it doesn't involve the height of the star. You're still fascinated with it. How interesting for you as one man. Now, if given your interest in the height of the star with the opposite that you'll calculate, give it me. Now. You're claiming it.
What's the angle I'm measuring?
Why are you asking me something? It's not my claim. Do you not know your own claim? Do you not know the height with the triangle you've got that you're going to calculate it with? Do you not know the answer to this? Do you not know?
Nathan, the height is dependent on
say my name. Say my name. Do you not know?
The height is dependent on the angle you're observing.
So do you want to give it me then? Do you want to calculate it then and give it me then?
It's dependent on the angle you're observing.
I understood that the first 4 times you said it. Do you want to give it me then? It's your claim and you're saying you can get the height when you calculate this adjacent. Maybe if you rumpus the 5th attempt of me demanding that you fulfill your claim that you attempted to flip the burden onto me with and suggest that I should be getting the height. No, I didn't sucker into that crap. And now I'm insisting that maybe if you rumpus me, it'll overcome this problem you now have. You've got the problem of you saying you can get this height. I'm saying it's not used in celestial navigation, something that's practically applied to save lives. So now that you have an interest in this, your height you will be calculating, I'm asking for the 5th time if you'll be capable of giving it me or not.
Yeah, so what's the angle I'm measuring?
Why are you asking me? I'm not calculating. It's not my claim. Don't flip the burden. Just remove him. Don't want to do it 6 times. I'm not going to flip the burden. It's not my angle. It's not my claim. I'm not claiming this. Rumpusing me won't change that. Talking through me. Is it talking through because you've got a mute button on the neutral platform? This is a new neutral platform, by the way. I can't control him doing this. I can't stop him chanting through me. He's flipped the burden 4 times. I don't need to give him any. He's just constantly chanting through me with his mute button, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you want on your neutral platforms, Glurfs. This is what you want on your neutral platforms, Glurfs. An obfuscation indefinitely when I point out that he's flipped the burden. He says he's interested in the opposite to get the height of the star. My response, it's not used in celestial navigation. It doesn't have a practical application. His response, oh, well, should we not calculate things when we're just interested in them? Well, okay, you're interested in it, so you give it me. What's the angle, he asks 4 times, sorry. No, it's not my claim, it's not my burden. And here we are on a neutral platform with the summary coming for the 5th time and the chanting zealot Glurf talking straight through it. He's flipped the burden and now he's obfuscating it by chanting, oh my, while I point out he's flipping the burden. He won't tolerate it. Hopefully, if the Discord server can't hear it, it won't be a flipping of the burden for the 5th time, right?
It's not flipping the burden.
Maybe if you shout, it's not flipping the burden through me summarising how you flip the burden. I'm not claiming the height of stars. I'm not claiming it as a practical application. He's charged me with it because he has an interest in it, but apparently I need to answer questions about it, but that's not flipping the burden. Yeah, your incessant non-stop rumpusing won't work. It is a flipping of the burden. I'm not claiming you can get height or it has a practical use. You are. But when we put the burden back on the claimant, he's not prepared to answer any questions about his claim. He just rumpuses
I've seen
non-stop.
you on TikTok.
Please, can you stop these chanting zealots talking through me on the neutral platform? I'm on a neutral platform, and it's getting rumpused by their mute button. This is what the Glurfs project onto me when they tell me I've got a mute button. What they mean is, come on my claim to be neutral platform so I can rumpus you when you win. When I point out a burden's been flipped, if the Fundy that's claimed that chants non-stop like he's doing now, then maybe it won't be an overcome of his argument because he chanted through it and the Discord server didn't hear it, right? Eventually, I've got to appeal to the moderators to do something about this because I've made 6 attempts to summarise his flipping of the burden. Now it's the 7th attempt and he's yammering through me non-stop. I can't control the mute button, I haven't got one here, but the chanting zealot's going to make sure the audience can't hear it. Just stop him. Mods! For the love of Jesus Christ. Is that really what happens in this server? Is this what neutral platforms are about? 7 attempts. I haven't made a claim about the bleeding height. Oh, it's 7 attempts. I haven't made a claim about the height. He's incessantly flipped the burden because he needs me to be claiming heights that aren't used. And when I say, well, you give me them, he starts asking me about angles I'm going to be using in his burden of proof reversal. Fallacy. 7 attempts to point out that fallacy. Here's the 8th attempt, and that is another chanting white knight on the 8th attempt. That is 8 attempts to point out how the glyphs used a fallacy. But on a neutral platform, it's going to take 8 attempts because the pain that the glyphs are in can't hold it back. Yeah, it's not reasonable that 8 attempts should be needed to point out a burden of proof reversal fallacy when an angle I'm not claiming and a height I'm not claiming is charged on to me. Meanwhile, Earth's measured flat with elevation angles so that we can navigate on a flat plane that we're getting those angles from, with flat circles that are drawn onto maps that are flat. That's how we actually deal with Earth. Now, maybe my summary would require a mute button. Is this my mute button? Is this my mute button, ladies and gentlemen of the audience? Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, is this my mute button? Is this my mute button, ladies and gentlemen? Is this me muting him? No glyphs.
What's the angle
no glyphs. If this was my Discord server, this wouldn't be happening because it's unreasonable. I'm summarising how Earth's measured flat, and it caused cognitive pain, and therefore caused chanting. So a whole bunch of glyphs gang up on me. They won't stop. This is what they need. This is what they project. Now, eventually, I've got to get sick of it because I'm getting audio chaos in my live stream because the server mods can't seem to control their guests. I'm pointing out a new subject after summarising the burden of proof, reversal, fallacy, and that's the Earth's measured flat. New subject. Yeah, didn't get to the end of the summary about how we get circles of equal elevation with respect to stars because it caused too much pain in the glyph opponents. That's what you need when you project that I've got a mute button. No, you need yours. That's why you want to drag me onto this like a neutral platform, like what's just happened. Yeah, the glyphs can chant through the summary. New point from Nathan proving that Earth's measured flat. No, better chant through that too. You need your mute button, glyphs. That's what's really happening. It's projection. Without the mute button, you can't win. Because it's a win-lose for you. For me, it isn't. I'm just detailing how Earth's measured. Indeed, measured for your glyph belief in latitude lines around your glyph. So why would that need chanting through? Oh, because it means that your belief's shattered. So you can use your mute button 10 times on me. Yeah, let's just get that summary like nice and squared away, just for the audience's benefit. This is what they want when they say Nathan won't join a neutral platform. What they really mean is we need Nathan where we can shut him up whenever he wins. Because that's what's just happened on this a neutral platform. Hey, anybody out there, McToon, Craig, Jaren, any of you glyphs, you can join this platform too. And you can argue with me on a neutral platform where you can attempt to rumpus the living crap out of me and I've got no control over it. So for every little coward bitch out there on the globe side that said it's Nathan's mute button, did you just hear what happened? No, Nathan was winning. Sorry to talk in the third person about myself. And what happened when I was winning? Point out how Earth's measured. Oh, 8 attempts to flip the burden into heights we don't use with navigation. Because those little tactics and fallacies, they need repeating 8 times to the top of the demolition of it, don't they? That's your mute button that you need. Yeah? My overcome of it for building up a platform for 10 years means that the audience has finally started to hear the actual responses that destroy your arguments, rather than just the fundy muting that you need on your neutral platforms, like just happened. Earth is measured flat.
He's done crying.
We move on?
Yeah. Finally got to the end of the summary after 9 attempts. Shouldn't take 20 minutes. Does if you've got glyphs around you. Because Nathan will mute me. Hey, just somebody trim this out, trim this section out, feel free. Post it to every little glyph bitch that says Nathan needs a mute button. No, I don't. Projection.
Well, before the live stream, just say quickly
and when you made the pause, it was silence.
Yep. When there's an actual rendition of the question without him chanting through it total silence as a response.
Yeah,
Because
when
they're
you are
muted.
not talking, there is a silence. Yeah. Why?
Because the guys he was talking with are muted.
Bullshit. Line
There
was
is other
open. It was
people
on.
can speak
Just for the guy. No, I record it. You could see he wasn't on mute. That's a lie. No, he wasn't muted. You're going to claim that. Oh, so you're going to. So now you're going to call foul as you chant through me on the server operators. So this guest.
He's muted right now.
Excuse me. He's muted now because he couldn't stop chanting in 8 attempts. So you're going to blame the mute button even when it's not mine. So you're now pouring scorn on the server moderators, and now you're chanting through me. Now you're chanting through me. This guy will cry foul too when he gets server muted eventually. I'm still talking, addressing his point. But because his point's getting addressed, he needs his mute button. So he's now using his mute button on me. Neutral platform so he can use his mute button on me. No, mate, you're pouring scorn. No, he won't. He won't allow the point to demolish his point. It's only the chanting and mute button that he's using. Yeah, eventually the server operators will put him on mute, but you'll cry foul. No, he didn't leave a silence when he actually heard the point being to him. The server moderators had him on mute. Lying bastard, it was recorded. It was on screen. That was not the case. You gotta lie to Glurf, though, haven't you? You got to claim that you're the victim. And no, it wasn't a silence. You guys were being deceitful. You had him on mute for dramatic effect, so there was a silence. Lying Glurf scum. Good job I record the screen so we can see what's going on. Glurf scum liar. He just didn't have a response when I pointed out that Earth was measured flat to him, like I'm doing to you now. Undoubtedly, you've had to be server muted, perhaps, because you couldn't shut your mouth, and chanted through me responding to your lie about him being on mute when he was open mic with no response. Liar. Gotta lie to Glurf, ladies and gentlemen. Gotta cry foul and play victim. Oh, Nathan's got a mute button, as they chant straight through me.
So what is the difference between America and America?
Sorry, a bit quiet, my friend. Can you say that again? One more time.
Difference between the globe and the sphere.
No difference.
There is no difference?
No, globe is a
What
sphere.
is different between what is different
Globus.
between level? What is different between
Globalis.
level?
Globalis.
Sorry, hold on just a
What is
sec.
different?
Muslim Chad, what's your point? They're both the same thing.
True? Or you think so?
Sorry, what was your point though? What does it have a point attached to it?
That's the question, though.
Okay, you had your answer. You happy with your answer?
Yeah, not really, man, because when I play football, nobody says we're playing foot global or something.
Really? And?
A horrible point.
Sorry, and? How does that have any relevance on this discussion? What people do when they're playing football?
What is the discussion about?
Football, clearly. I'll ask the
Said
third time.
globe
How does
and
this have any...
sphere, and then had a problem with football.
Yeah, this non sequitur false
So you
comparison
guys
fallacy.
had a discussion before?
So it's
or-
non sequitur false comparison fallacy. We're not playing football or discussing it. So it's a non sequitur false comparison.
Oh, okay, cool, man. Did you visit college?
Sorry, was there a point attached to this fourth attempt?
So you didn't
Fallacy after
visit the
fallacy,
college,
it
right?
seems.
So why do you open your mouth, actually?
Excuse me. Did you just
When you
ad
didn't
hom me?
achieve
Did
anything
this
in
guy
life
just ad hom me based on my education status rather than addressing the point, which he didn't have? He's had 4 requests for a point to
you
be
visit
attached.
Oxford,
Now he's
right?
talking through me with his mute button. What a shock. You didn't have a point, Muslim Chad.
The point is like, yeah, it's very boring and I want to be entertained, so I'm...
Boring. That's another ad hom. That's another fallacy.
It's another atom. Who cares about that?
It's
ad homs
fallacious.
Out of the context.
I do.
to,
It's
like,
fallacious. It doesn't address the point,
just
which you
tell
didn't
us
make.
what kind of argument this is.
It isn't one.
Okay?
You suggesting it's a false comparison,
should you,
fallacy.
Why should you not to be allowed like to do ad hominem? What's the axiom behind that? Yeah,
Because it's a fallacy. It doesn't address the point. So when you bring up a non sequitur fallacy and I point it out, my bad, it's just me responding to your answer. Maybe if you keep talking, the response won't come. Maybe if you keep talking through me, the response won't come. Maybe if you just keep yammering, it won't be embarrassing for you. Excuse me, if you just keep talking, maybe it won't be addressed ever.
No, I'm not a tea drinker.
You asked me why use an ad hom, and now you're not stopping talking. You're just incessantly yammering with verbal diarrhea through the top of me and laughing. Can you just serve me, this asshole? It's not a reasonable... I've got a live show with an audience. Muslim Chad's an asshole. He didn't have a point to make. I pointed out it was a false comparison. Then he says, why can't I ad hom you? Well, because it's a fallacy. It doesn't address the rebuttal that I put to you when I labelled what you did with a football as a false comparison fallacy. So you don't get to just call me stupid and ask where I was educated. That's an ad hom. At the man, not at the argument. The argument being you used a false comparison when you didn't make a point, when you suggested that spheres aren't, round, circular, whatever it is what you said. You haven't got a point to make. No, you don't get to just ad hom me and question my education status. It's a fallacy. You certainly don't get to yammer through. You certainly don't get to yammer through the conclusion. And now a load of white knights have stepped in with their mute buttons. I'm a white knight. Nathan's destroying Muslim Chad, so I need to rumpus him. I need a mute button that can open whenever I like and just stop him talking. I need to stop Nathan humiliating Muslim Chad. No. The guy didn't have a point. Didn't have an argument. I pointed out his fallacious use of comparison. And then he started ad homming me and asking if that wasn't ill-advised or not legitimate. Absolutely it's not. It's a fallacy, you dumbo. So, dumbo, bugger off to somewhere that you can use fallacies, rather than having to have a load of white knights jump in to protect your dumbass as I summarise how stupid you are. Comprende? Now get lost. Dumbo, you haven't got a point.
Nathan, are you religious?
Non sequitur. I'm here telling people Earth's measured flat. My religious inclinations are irrelevant. That is a non sequitur fallacy. Meanwhile, we measure angles to stars. Even though I've reiterated the fallacious use of logic that this man has used, after I answer him, he thinks it's his time to talk in the middle of my sentence. I haven't paused for breath. Meanwhile, my religious inclinations are non sequitur to the Earth being measured flat, which is all I've discussed here. Shout out to Unitox Femu from Super Chat.
But you can go around
and maybe if you just chant through me while I'm giving my audience recognition for paying my bills. Maybe if the middle of this breath with me saying shout out to Unitox Femu was your cue for you to talk. No, it definitely wasn't. With 130 of my live audience, I'm going to talk to them, not you, when I'm in the middle of my breath. I'm not going to apologise for the middle of my sentence, interrupting the start of yours. It's just this neutral platform has the ability for you to shut me down with your mute button, doesn't it? Yeah, well, I can just berate your dumbass as you do it again. I can berate you for that, because it's scummy. It's your mute button. No, I'll shout out Unitox Femu, thank you very much. But they muted me, Nathan, for one sentence. Yeah, chanting through me 8 times, no recognition. Oh, he was on mute when he definitely wasn't. Lie from a glurf. Thanks for the super chat.
Nathan, can you go around the boat?
Go around
the globe in a boat. Can you go around the globe?
That's a begging the question fallacy. Go around the globe is automatic assumption of your unproven claim. Begging the question, assuming the outcome.
What shape can you go around?
Did he hear me? Did he not respond? Is this going to be completely non-responsive? Did you acknowledge a single smegging word I just said to you, sir?
That was my response, Nathan.
He's dunce.
He's a dunce, yeah. Begging the question, dunce.
No, it's not.
Is it not? Yeah, it is. It's assuming the outcome. You said globe. That's the thing you're trying to prove, assuming it and asking a question based on the fact we're already on a globe for me to answer. We aren't on a globe. The idea that you believe in as your religion comes from measuring the Earth flat. So I can't answer a question rightfully about how I can stand on the reified Roman Catholic Church's idea of an extrapolation mathematically of flat Earth measurements, and this is definitely going to need a chanting fundy white knight muting me, isn't it? Yeah, there it is, right on cue. Right on cue on the neutral platform you little bitches need. It was the middle of my sentence too painful for you there, sir? Begging the question fallacy.
Dumb.
Sorry, what was that, dunce? It's begging the question fallacy. You didn't acknowledge it. Sorry, it's not on mute, by the way. Those protracted silences for my audience's benefit, in case some glurf scumbag liar decides to claim that the operators of this server that's neutral muted him when he didn't respond a second ago. That was a protracted silence with him off mute. Now he's talking through me. Now he's got the ability, because he was off mute then and is off mute now, to talk through the middle of me, pointing out the protracted silence he left. Just in case a glurf liar decides to claim he wasn't able to talk when I pointed out his begging the question fallacy. Right. Now he's talking through me while I highlight the begging the question fallacy he hasn't responded to and left a protracted silence. Now he's muting me. Now he is muting me in the middle of my summary of his failure. He's muting me. You need a neutral platform, do you there, sir? One where you can interrupt the middle of me pointing out you begged the question.
Sorry.
You begged the question. 4th time.
We will assume that it's a globe. So what shape is it?
So flat's not a shape. Flat's an aspect. Earth is measured flat. That's an aspect, not a shape. You're in a category error. Anything else, dunce?
What shape can you go
Sorry,
around?
you're going to repeat the question, dunce. You didn't listen to the answer, dunce. Aspects aren't shapes, dunce. Are you done, dunce? You don't seem to be capable of listening to my responses. I'll slow it down. You're clearly incapable of listening. Aspects aren't shapes, dunce.
But shapes can have flat sides.
Yeah, Earth's measured flat. There is no ascribing shape to this aspect of Earth. We will measure. It is flat. Earth is flat. That is how it is measured. Is there anything else?
Shapes have sides, so it could.
I couldn't care less. Do you want to go to a geometry forum where you discuss shapes as opposed to the nature of Earth in terms of its form and measurement? Because that aspect is not a shape. We measure Earth flat. Don't need it rinse and repeating a 5th time. Are you stuck in that groove like a record that's faulty? Can't get out of that groove, right? Ask the same question again. See how it goes. Go on.
You can only go around the circumference on a globe.
Like you just spent the last 2 minutes explaining to me how the circumference of a flat circle is flat. What are you babbling about?
A 3D sphere.
Sorry, so begging the question then, dunce. Get rid of him. He doesn't understand. He can only beg the question. His intellect can't cope beyond begging the question fallacies. It's pathetic. Your use of fallacy is even pathetic, mate. It's a low-level fallacy. Like the most basic of fallacy. Assuming the outcome is the most basic of fallacy you can commit. That makes you a dunce. So you're not even good in your crap, fallacious argumentation. Okay? Don't beg the question again. I don't need to hear it. I don't need to hear you begging the question again, dunce. What part of that don't you understand? Just belligerence now, right? Use your mute button because you've got it. Shout out to Unisox Femu. Says, no, Nathan, they muted Sasha.
Your bombers.
Did you hear Sasha? Yo, bomber clutch, shut your dunce mouth, man. Shouting out my audience, brethren. No, Nathan, they muted Sasha. Did you hear how Sasha made chaos or some mod issues with Sasha? Yeah, you did. They were right to serve. This is my own side. Sasha's one of mine. He's one of my own. Moaning that he's getting muted because he's also rumpusing the discussion. Yeah, they will. It's a neutral platform. Yeah? They'll mute me if I rumpus their positive claim or rebuttal. Now, that ain't happening. That's why I'm not getting muted. But I'm a guest here too, Sasha. You will get muted if you rumpus the discussion. That's why eventually they leave it longer than normal so that they can't be criticised. So they'll leave it 8 times so that they seem more neutral than they could be. But you don't get that extended treatment that I'm getting, which is I'm getting more rumpusing from them than you're allowed to give them back in return, Sasha. But you'll still get muted. Rumpusing's not reasonable. Shout out to LJ. Love it when you call globetards little b. That's me swearing when I shouldn't. Oh my. Sorry, Paula, if you're listening. Not my wife, the other Paula. Shout out to Phoenix Rising 86. He says, a sphere only has one side or one continuous edge. Bad logic by a glurf. Thank you for the super chat. I'm done. Thank you for all the support.
Would it be a rectangle instead of like a flat shit? You know what I mean? Would it just be a rectangle?
Or a flat sh? What's a flat sh? You had a bit of a sentence fragment issue there, like you couldn't complete a word. You said rectangle, and could it be a flat shush? Well, flat shush would be flat shape, but that's what rectangles are. Did you understand how stupid your statement was as you started asking it, and then decided not to complete the sentence and offer up a sentence fragment in the form of rectangular flat sh? You mean shape,
Nathan,
like
what's your
rectangles?
position?
Like rectangles are flat, mate. But aspects that we measure with the ground in mind are just flat. That's not a shape. That is the 5th time I have told you, you stupid dunce.
What's your view on it? Like, what's your position?
Is this guy really retarded or what? Are you having me on?
Yes. Yeah.
Let me tell him then, because he's obviously stupid, so I'll just answer him. No worries. My position, sir. My name is Nathan Oakley. I understand and appreciate that the Earth is mapped, navigated, built on, observed, and obviously flat by its nature. If that wasn't absolutely 100% obvious to anybody in the nearest vicinity, then I don't know what is. But hope that clarifies that for you, sir.
Okay, can you measure globes with flat surfaces?
Can I measure your begging the question fallacy that I've also dealt with 6 times?
I'm not begging it, Nathan.
When you say globe, is that the thing you're trying to prove? Would it be your automatic assumption of that we are on a globe when you suggest that we're measuring a globe? Yeah, that's a begging the question fallacy. I've already berated you for it being the lowest form of fallacy you could use and called you a dunce for it. That's why I keep calling you a dunce. So did you think your label of dunce needed reaffirming by using the same begging the question fallacy and then telling me in a moronic voice that you're not begging the question? Yeah, you absolutely are, you dunce.
Wait, does a dunce mean a flat earther?
Excuse me?
What does a dunce mean?
It means stupid.
One sec.
Oh.
Good after, everyone.
Good after shush. Was that Adam?
Yeah, I thought I'd throw up my own sentence fragment. Afternoon,
Everybody
everyone.
loves a good sentence fragment when you realise that you're asking whether a rectangle could be flat shape or not.
Well, it can't be a
Excuse
sphere
me,
with a
Nathan.
flat side on it.
Just committed confirmation bias and the fallacy of selective evidence when you were asked that question, which was not indeed begging the question. So I would like to ask it again on his behalf.
Are you having me on?
Would that be okay?
Sorry, can I get it correct?
No, I'm not.
This pussy-whipped man has got his woman to step in. Excuse me, lady, I'd just like to address you without you continually talking. This isn't your show, madam. Can you stop talking?
You're interrupting me. Are you?
I'm the host of the show, you stupid woman. Can I do something, you ask? Now, you've been server muted because it's not just you're going to step in for your pussy-whipped little man and take over where he failed miserably. Yeah, your husband's been humiliated by a flat earther. Now that pussy-whipped little bitch needs you to defend him, does he, love? Oh, you have my permission, love. You go ahead. Defend your coward little man that failed.
Women.
All right. So confirmation bias occurred when you only sought out information that you had pre-existing, right? When you were asked the question, what shape can you go around the circumference of, which is what people do on a daily basis, they go around the shape, whatever shape the Earth is, whether globe or not. Can you describe to me another shape which you can go around the circumference of?
Why? Did I make a claim about it?
Well, you said it. You asserted that it was begging the question when indeed.
Did you hear my question, love? It seems like you're answering a different question there.
Like I'm saying,
Did you hear my question?
No, that was the same
Did you hear my question?
Pardon?
Obviously not. I said, and I'll repeat for a second time because you're deaf and dumb like your stupid husband. Did I make a claim about it?
No, but therefore it was.
So why the hell would I be answering you, you daft cow?
Okay, so then it wasn't begging the question. So
sorry, love. It seems like you're stupid, like your husband. It seems that you now can't stop talking when you've been shown to be stupid. Maybe you'll need server muting because you can't shut your stupid mouth. No, you've just been humiliated like your dumb husband. Yeah, your dumb husband and yourself have been humiliated. I didn't make a claim about it. I don't need to be defending about it. Telling me I've got a confirmation bias for something I haven't made a claim about will require you to chant through me. Yeah? Mute me while I point out how stupid you are, just like your dumb husband that you're defending his pussy-whipped ass. Yeah. I didn't make a claim about it, love. Why would you be asking me about it? Maybe if you chant through me pointing out this burden of proof reversal fallacy where I've made a claim, maybe you'll win. Maybe this is how you win arguments down the social club, when you just chant through everybody and talk louder than them. No, love, here, I will humiliate you after humiliating your pussy whipped little bitch husband. Clear? I didn't make a claim about it.
She's acting religious rather than assessing the situation.
She claimed I had a confirmation bias when I haven't made a claim. That's stupid. Like a stupid husband.
You know how you asked me? You asked me if you made a claim, right? And whilst that's true that you didn't, he did ask you your position, to which you responded
He was
that you
told.
have a belief system, to which you responded that you have a belief system. Hang on. Which you assert that Earth is measured the way we measure stuff on a daily
Yes,
basis.
the men are trying to stop you.
Control your woman, man.
We don't need your batshit summary. Yeah, we know. I can pay attention. I don't need you to summarise it for me. I know what happened. I was here.
He was told, like so many others this morning, if anyone is listening, the only thing that Nathan has really been getting at is that elevation angles require you to use the Earth as a plane, like from Sustainable by Design said. The citation from Sustainable by Design is the altitude angle is the measured angle between the object and the horizontal plane that the observer is standing on. That's the position. Did your husband respond to that?
No, he didn't.
Oh.
I think he did, but the way he did was completely wrong,
Oh
which is
wait,
why she had
oh
to
wait,
step
so you're
in.
not a flat earther then?
So what does that have to do with what we've just put to you?
Well, we're in a flat earth VC, aren't we not?
Yeah, and we're
And you're
detailing...
muttering about elevation angles.
Yes.
Why didn't you hold steadfast to your own beliefs?
Sorry, it's not a belief. An elevation angle's a measurement.
No, I'm aware, but you're not a flat earther then, are you? If that's your only claim here.
Right, why are you labelling me? Does it matter? Earth's measured flat with elevation angles. Hello? Earth's measured flat with elevation angles. Do you know what an elevation angle is?
I respect your pronouns.
What?
She obviously knows what a flat earther is to throw the accusation that suddenly you're now not a flat earther. Could you define what a flat earther is?
That's a person that doesn't believe in the globe.
No, that's not a flat earther.
No.
That's an anti-glober. Like saying a Christian's someone who doesn't believe in Islam. So that not believing in Islam makes you a Christian, does it? No. Not believing in a globe doesn't make you a flat earther.
You don't define something as something that it's not. So if somebody asks you to define a banana and you say it's not a transmission, that's not a definition of a banana. Get it?
Is it banding about the phrase elevation angles?
I wouldn't have said so. That's just describing how something's been measured. An angle of elevation to a star or the sun or the moon or whatever you're using. It's just a measurement description. That's not going to tar me with any label. Meanwhile, Earth's measured flat with those elevation angles. They get wrapped around the globe when you take those angle measurements and, you know, create globes for people to believe in.
By the way, that comparison you just made about religion was indeed false because what you just described was a sufficient condition. So, for example, versus a necessary condition. A necessary condition of a flat earther is that they do not believe in the globe, which is what he asserted, which is correct. And you asserted
No, it's
something
not.
that is not a sufficient condition. Yes, it is.
That's stupid sophistry horseshit. You don't know what a confirmation bias is either, love. That was non sequitur. And he
Okay,
did.
so why did I
You don't need to
say
chant
that?
through him, love. Stop. Can we just stop a second? He's responding to you. And within 3 breaths, you're talking again.
You don't know what begging the question is. You don't know what a confirmation bias is. You don't know what sufficient and necessary is. You're a cluster screw of nonsense. So let's get on to the point. Please provide scientific evidence for your globe.
For
Let's
your globe.
redirect.
Just get a boat. Just get a boat if you can afford it and go around.
Just get a boat, go round.
Okay,
Or
just stop
go
a second.
globe
Just stop a
hard.
second. So, just before you get completely triggered with me, did you not understand his question?
Yeah, I just gave him an example of literal evidence that he can
That's not what he
take
asked
into
for.
his own hands.
Okay, so maybe
What's the
it's okay.
problem? No, yeah,
Don't
it
get.
is the-
I
it
said
is what
don't
he
get
asked for.
triggered.
It's exactly
I said don't get
what he
triggered.
asked
I
for.
said don't get triggered. Try not to. No, you didn't hear his
Sorry, we're
question.
triggered.
You don't. You didn't. There's now a white knight helping out. It seems. You didn't hear his question because you've answered a different question, and then when I asked you if you heard it, you gave a different question back. That's not the question he asked you. So I'm going to ask him to repeat the question to you because you didn't hear it the first time, which is fair enough. Go ahead, Kiwi.
Please provide one shred of scientific evidence for your globe.
Okay, so you get a
You
boat.
weren't being asked who's talking.
then
He's not being asked. Guy's not being asked. Man's not being asked.
But my response is the same.
Okay, what was your response? Now you've heard the question for certain.
So scientific evidence, yeah? So if you want to look into 3D models in your own time, you can do that. And then get a boat and go around the circumference of the Earth. You can use a compass, by which we have discovered the North and South Pole of the globe, by the way.
Incorrect.
And you can see as you go around in a 360-degree angle, which we know to be of a spherical shape, you know, just like basic geometry that you learn in 5th grade.
You want to stop?
Geometry,
Okay,
that's
thank
not
you.
science.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So, what you should have said, my kind sir, that is a malformed question. Scientific method and natural science only adjudicate natural cause and effect relationships. It has nothing to do with shapes. Therefore, by your non-responsive answer to the malformed question, you have shown that you would fail 5th grade general science. Thanks. Have a nice day.
Yeah, but you'd have a boat.
Are you sure? I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah. Should we go on to the White Knight? Are you done, my love? Can we move on to the White Knight? You've demonstrated a substandard science acumen. Are we done with her then? You taking back over? She's demonstrated a substandard science acumen.
Wait.
Okay,
But
thank you, my
Nathan,
dear.
what was your response to that?
You demonstrated a substandard science acumen by answering or attempting to answer a malformed question in a category error with an example that wasn't scientific, demonstrating admirably that you don't know what science is. That was put to you by QE and now reiterated by me. But thank you for trying.
Okay, but he made a false assertion.
Sorry, did you want to address
I
your
wasn't using
lack
the
of science
scientific method,
acumen?
and
There
measuring
was
the
a short
globe
pause,
using
and now you're talking
astronomy
about something
and
I
using
don't know.
degrees of geometry.
We heard your
Hang on,
claim.
Hang on.
We heard you.
Hang on.
We heard
I'm
you.
responding to you.
We don't need to hang on. I heard the first
No,
time.
he hasn't heard.
Can you just
I'm
stop
not
her?
finished.
Because she's become
I'm not
unreasonable.
finished.
She's now chanting the same claim I heard the first time through me. I don't need to hear it a second time. I heard it the first time. It didn't provide scientific validity, though. That's the point. You reiterating your failure is not going to help you. It wasn't scientific evidence. So you fail miserably, and you want to blart through me
Okay,
telling you
wait,
that
hang on.
like you're doing now with your mute button. No, bitch. Shut up. You're dumb. You're finished. You don't understand what science is. Now stop yammering through me. You don't know what science is. Now shut up. Hand us back over to your pussy-whipped husband.
Same question for the husband. See if he's quick on the uptake. Please provide one shred of scientific evidence for your globe.
He's muted. He is actually on mute this time. That isn't a protracted silence for dramatic effect. One of the server moderators has kept him on mute. I can only assume that the server moderators have had enough of them.
I don't know what his name is to unmute him. I'm sorry. What
Hi,
is his name?
something, hi, Trug or something.
Sapphire and steel.
There we go. You repeat the question, QB.
Yes. Please provide one shred of scientific evidence for your
Okay,
globe.
so I described to you the scientific.
Yeah, she's not answering, she's not listening, she just wants to chant the same crap that she's asserted already. You've been server muted by the mods because they've obviously had enough of you because you're not listening to the responses anymore. Just need to defend the honour of your stupid husband. Fine, we don't care. We know he's dumb. He's a dunce. He was labelled it when he used the begging the question fallacy. You've demonstrated you don't know what science is, so you're both useless. You're both stupid. Sorry. Don't have to like it.
I mean, it's a shame because it could have been a good conversation. The problem is she does want to just continue rambling. And you're not really you're saying a lot of nothing. Like we get in a boat and go around. Are you serious? Like we did hear you. We know what you're trying to say. You
Which
said
is
enough for us to know that you don't know a lot about it, but you're talking too fast like you do. Man's explained his point a million times. Elevation angles to Polaris prove that the Earth is flat. It's measured that way. What is the
That wasn't the
response?
question. Focus. Get
Nobody.
the Adderall.
Yeah, that wasn't the
back.
question. The question was, what's the scientific evidence for the globe?
Yeah. So now, if your husband was listening to the response, he could at least give the appropriate answer now.
She's not there to listen to you or QE. She's there to defend her husband's honour when he's been called a dunce. And then it's been justified. She's jumped in to say, he wasn't begging the question, you didn't accept the burden of proof reversal fallacy? That was her opener. What?
Yeah, but he can't get this wrong. Come on. I have faith that he's going to get this right.
Oh, well, I'm glad you've got faith. I don't care. I don't need faith in anything. Earth's measured flat.
It was
They
just
could be too
explained. He
triggered.
better
They could
come
be
up
too
with the right
triggered
answer.
normies.
Go on, Eli.
They could be too triggered normies. I haven't. They don't frequent the channel. I've never heard them before. Crit, have you heard them? If you're still here, might be on coffee break or something.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I haven't heard them. So sound like some newbies that
I just
newbies that don't really, you know.
I just want to know everyone's views.
Okay, sure. Here, I don't know about the rest of the server because it's not mine, but I've got a panel of people who all have the same view, which is Earth's measured flat. It's not a belief, it's just a matter of fact. Also not science, it's just measurements.
When did you? How long have you been believing this for? Like when did
he didn't listen? Did he?
When did
he didn't listen?
You know,
you didn't listen.
No, like how many years have you been believing this?
Yeah, you didn't listen to what I just said. Literally 10 seconds ago, what I said didn't comprehend. You didn't comprehend it. You didn't listen to it, and you certainly didn't therefore respond to it. I'll repeat what I just said. Now, you've just asked me so that you don't repeat it again. When did I get these beliefs? Yeah, I got what you said. You didn't comprehend what I'd said. It isn't a belief, dunce. It's a measurement. Unlike the answer from your dunce wife, who asserted an answer in respect to the science for a globe, which this isn't. It's measurements, not science, not beliefs. Okay, plenty of time for response.
Hello.
Hold on, just one sec, whoever you are, fella. So further to that measurement, your globe belief comes from those measurements. I don't believe in them, and you believe they're wrapped around a globe. So the only one with belief here is the person who thinks the measurements of Earth, flat that it is, can be inferred by calculation to be spherical. So they can think they're standing on that church view of the ground, measured flat. So there's only one person with beliefs here, the person who thinks they're on a globe. The measurements to get to that globe, they're flat. That's it. I'm done. The other guy want to go, whoever that was.
Are you religious?
Just mute him.
Just get rid of him. Get rid of the dunce. Complete non sequitur.
Get rid of anybody who asks tough questions. Get rid of them.
Sorry, am I
Yeah, that's
religious
a real tough
in
question,
response
you
to me
moron.
pointing out how Earth is measured and the globe belief comes from those measurements? Asking me if I'm religious is a non sequitur fallacy.
That's your
Well,
opinion.
it's projection because he's religious.
Yeah, he's
Just a
religious. He
question.
believes he's on a globe. Clearly, he's white
Just
knighting
a
for somebody who's on a
question.
globe.
And we answered it. Next question. Please provide one shred of scientific evidence for your globe.
Oh, come December we will.
Oh, you think that that's
Get a
an
life,
experiment?
obnoxious.
December? Really? What's the
I miss you
hypothesis?
guys. Don't kick me. I miss you guys. I'll be polite.
No,
It's
you've been
2024
hold on,
and you're still waiting
can we get rid of
for
Rob
your
Noxious?
evidence?
Sorry,
Like, oh, come December.
So just one sec.
December 2024, we'll finally have
We're
proof.
not waiting. You're waiting.
Can we get rid of
We
Rob
already have it.
Noxious?
You guys.
Sorry, the guy stalks me on private messaging services, swearing at me. Can we just get rid of him? I don't like these stalky
that
types.
has been like 6 months.
Can you just
dude.
get rid
some
of
new
him,
stuff.
please? Please, can we just get rid of this stalker? Thank
I'll
you.
leave
Can
later,
you just
bitch.
get rid of him,
You
please?
pussy
Can I
bitch.
appeal to the moderators because this is a neutral platform and I can't get rid of him? This guy that stalks me and swears at me and is abusive towards me. Just get rid of him, please. Thank you.
You're obnoxious, bro.
Yeah. I don't like
Can't
these
wait
people.
till December. I can't wait till December, boy. So, to the rest of the panel. Globers, please provide one shred of scientific evidence for your globe.
The code. You were backing this a second ago.
Just
No,
And-
I was making fun of the guy who was saying, come December, we'll finally have globe proof. It's 2024 and he's still waiting.
The guy before you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I misinterpreted. I thought you were backing him up. You're not. Fine.
No. The guy before him, Nathan.
Wait,
Remember, he tried
so
to get
do you believe that space is fake or real?
Space is fake. It's a second law of thermodynamics violation. Gas fills space. If the space was a vacuum, we'd have no gas to breathe.
Oh.
That was the best question all afternoon. Whoever that was, well done.
Same guy. You dunce hats removed. You get full credit for that question. But with that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, another massive thank you to today's 24/7 Discord politics server and G+ panels for making the live show possible. And, of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, joining as a member, smashing the super chat, hitting me up on Ko-Fi and PayPal, sponsoring my trip down to Dorset and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching on an after show, and I will see you all in the next video.